What's up, guys? So we got some more questions today. Sorry for my messy kitchen here. I'm coming to sit down and talk to you for a quick minute. So yeah, I'm all in the reflections here. So today I'm going to answer a few more. Let's see what I can find in here. Let's see. So Sam Ramfall, I think that's your name. Let's see. So Sam says, my sound was bad, vocals were too quiet, but we can't turn them up unless we get feedback and need to ring out our new monitors. Isn't that like a never-ending issue, feedback with monitors? And yeah, what a lot of people don't realize is that things that happen in the room also happen on the live stream. It's like, that sounds simple, but you are at the mercy of the room because of your inputs and whatever. You know what I mean? So one thing, so Sam, you know, obviously you need to get the feedback issue worked out first. You can't do anything until that is worked out because your gain staging is going to be all jacked up. Things are going to be too quiet because you can't gain it up hot enough. So I've got a few videos. I think I've got 2 on this channel. If you search my name and feedback, they're older, you know, but they get the point across, and I think that they can help you there. So check out my channel for how to kill feedback, and then you're gonna want to get them to the point that you can gain up your input so that you're hitting your signal, you know, around -18, somewhere in there, -20. That's where you want your signal hitting. You know, if you have to have your fader a little bit lower or your signal in your monitors a little bit lower, that's just going to be part of it. But if you were able to get your input gain to that point, however you're sending your signal to your live stream, you should be able to get enough signal out of it. And if your vocals still aren't loud enough, it's probably another issue that something else is too loud, if that makes sense. So kill the feedback first, and then get your signal up to, you know, -18-ish, and I think that will solve your problem. That should get it. So let's see, Spence Crisco. Let's I like this. Hey Jake, today was a hot mess. Isn't it? Yeah. Had cache issues with our recording and feed. Been a while since we'd had that issue. Figured out it was the HD issue with some lower quality hard drives. Yep, those things can happen. That's annoying and hard to avoid. That aside, we've recently upgraded to a wing. Had a good mix. It sounded good on one of the main outs, but quickly realized why that was not a good idea. Let's see. Back to the bus mix for the feed. We're struggling with finding the balance from what we hear in the room and what we send. It's a small crew. We don't have the people. Sorry, we don't have the people to manage a feed mix. We tried -10 across the board for the band, -5 for vocals, and 0 for speaking, and didn't work well enough. Yeah, so to me, it sounds like you're having kind of in a situation where you're guessing a little bit. I have a video on my channel where I show how you can set up a post fader mix. If you search, it was a little while back that I did that video, but if you search my name and then live stream mix tips, that'll bring you to the series. I think I did like 10 different tips for live streams on there. One of those was a post fader mix. So what I would suggest doing, I don't know how you guys rehearse, but I would say the way that I would test this for me is I would set up all of the channels that are going to my live stream bus. I would set them up as post fader, and then while you're rehearsing, get your mix sounding really good in the room and leave it there. I realize that, you know, your mix shouldn't and normally won't be static, like fader's just sitting there, you know, you sitting with your arms crossed. That's not really how it goes in the real world. But what you can do is get a general rough mix in your room. Then you should be able to, I don't remember where this menu is. I don't own a wing. We own an X32 here. We have the wing at my church as well. Love it. It's awesome. But what you can do is you can set your headphone out on there where it will come from your soloed bus. So what I would tell you to do is use whichever bus you have going. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit scattered with this, just processing, explaining it in real time. Get your mix good in the room, turn your mains off, and then solo that bus so that you can listen on headphones. And then you should be able to go to that sends on fader, right? And build you a mix from there. And make it sound good on that bus send soloed, so that then when you leave sends on fader, whatever mix moves you do in the main mix in the room will be reflected on your live stream mix. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that's what you're asking. That's how I'm interpreting it. And that's what I would do if I'm mixing the live stream totally by myself off of the board mix, and you're kind of at the mercy of what's happening on your main console. That's how I would do it. Yeah. Let's see. We got Taylor Cathy. So Taylor asks, I've seen delay chorus be used as an effect quite often, but what does it do? So two questions there. I guess that there's two different directions I can go. I think that the X32 has a delay chorus combo. I feel like I've seen that on there. If it's so, I've never used it. Or you're just talking about, dual units of sorts. So what that is if you're talking about the dual unit, then you basically have just kind of a simplified delay unit where you can set up your repeats, maybe some basic parameters, and then you also have some chorus parameters as well that you can put on there. Chorusing being kind of the swirly sound, an acoustic guitar from the 80s, that kind of sound that can be a little cheesy, but I think when used tastefully is one of the most underrated effects. Or also, just for clarification, just in case this is what you're asking, delay chorus. So chorus is actually just a delayed signal. Maybe a little detuning as well. A lot of people don't realize is that chorus is just a super fast delay with like only one repeat. I may be not explaining that well or even correctly, but I believe off the top of my head, it's been a minute since I've thought about it. Chorus is just a single delay, maybe slightly detuned at around like 15 milliseconds up to like maybe 40 or 50. I think in that range will give you varying degrees of chorus, if that makes sense. And then some units offer 2 or 3 voices, and that would mean there's just one more delay at a different point in time between 15 to 50 milliseconds. That's not prescriptive, I guess, and that may not be, it's not an exact science, but in that range you'll get a chorusing effect. So that's how I'm interpreting your question. I hope that makes sense, and if not, maybe it was a little bit helpful. Let me see. Okay, so now we have a question from Enoch. It says, hey Jake, I really love your content on the X32. Thank you. I do have a question, hope you can answer it. I'll do my best. I've been trying to use effects to create spaces for the instruments and especially the vocals, but I've not really nailed it. How do I best accomplish this using stereo delay and a plate while having a lead vocal and 4 to 5 backing vocals? So, this is a lot of times people want to have just so many different effects going. And I definitely stand by, if you can't make one delay and one reverb sound good, you shouldn't add anything else. So I think you can get 90% of the way there with what you're describing. So I think you're on the right track. A plate is always going to sound good. Stereo delay is going to sound good on the vocals. So one thing, if you're just using those two on, say, the vocals, is that how you worded it? So I guess even maybe the way you're saying this, those will be sharing those effects, maybe, if I'm reading that correctly. if I'm understanding that correctly, one thing you can do is in your sends on fader or your aux sends, your bus sends, however you're getting your signal to those effects, don't just send everything at the same level. You can set those effects at unity gain, and then within your send, your aux, your sends on fader, whichever it is, you can turn up to taste from there so that everything has kind of an appropriate amount of reverb or delay, whatever you're wanting to put in there. So that's one thing, making sure that the level isn't going to be overwhelming, and you want those to be post fader as well so that they follow your fader moves. So just as far as setting it up, you want to get the right amount on first. Past that, you said create spaces for the instruments and especially the vocals. I know that I say it all the time on this channel, but I just really like EQing effects, because one of the biggest things I hear a lot of times on different mixes that just irks me is I hear the effects too much and they sound like an effect. They don't sound like a part of the mix. They stand out too much, whether it's they're too bright, they're too dark and too boomy and just overwhelming. So I would say check your EQing on your effects as well so that they don't stand out so much and take over the mix, so that they don't become too much of an extra thing in the mix, if that makes sense, that they just add depth to what you already have. I hope that makes sense. That's a little bit of an intangible thing to say. You notice it more when you hear it, I guess. But I would say EQ those things. And then also, I have really here lately, I always thought having long decay times on my reverbs was bad. I don't know why. I was always afraid to have a long decay time. But mess with the decay time. Mess with your pre-delay. If you want to, have some space for it, really exaggerate that pre-delay on your reverb. It can add space for your dry signal to really punch through. So that's a thought. So yeah, mess with your EQing of your sends. Cut out top end, bottom, whatever. Cut out stuff that may be taking up space in your mix, and then set your decays or your feedback on your delay to a point that that not enhances, what's the word I'm looking for, to a point that complements the mix you already have, so that it doesn't stand out so much apart from what you're already doing. So I hope that's helpful. I think for today that catches us up on questions. So yeah, if you want to ask a question, download any of the free guides in the description, and I respond with your question. What happened last Sunday? What do you need help with? What do you need some criticism? What do you need some tips on, pointers on, whatever? So yeah, see you guys in the next one. Bye.